there was a rumor that I was one of the cheaters.
Yeah.
And that got my back. Okay, this, I will be honest.
You know, what was just adjusting to normal life like?
Yeah. I think the hardest part was, I feel like a lot of people are really resonating with the show or really seeing this as like.
So when you finally got that official call, right, saying you're in,
Yeah.
like you're in, like how did you just set your life up to just disappear
Yeah.
for 5 weeks? You guys are filmed for 23 out of 24 hours a day. All of that is crushed down, condensed into 90-minute episodes that have commercials, which translates mathematically to about only 0.17% of what happened being shown. So that's another reason why I wanted to start this podcast, was to give you guys a platform to, like, you know, voice your own opinions. What do you really think happened? Because we don't know. Welcome on in, Sophie Segreti. You are the first person from Survivor 49 that I've had on, so welcome in.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. I hope, I feel like I'm going to represent 49 well.
Let's start off from the beginning. So what made you decide to apply in the first place to Survivor? So, like, what was going on in your life at the time?
Yeah, so it's funny because I have applied a total of 2 times. So I first applied 2021. Funny that we were just talking about COVID because it was still COVID-y. Like all of the footage in my video, I'm wearing a mask and didn't go anywhere. But I've been a fan of this show since I was a child, and I've always wanted to apply, and just like never it was one of those things that you would talk about it a lot and then be like, oh, well, the new season's coming out, so like I probably missed it. And so I just feel like for a while I just had a lot of excuses. And then or I was waiting for like the perfect time to apply. So then my
which would be never.
Right, which would be never. There's never a great time to take 5 weeks out of your life. And so that's why COVID, I was like, great, I'm working remotely. It wouldn't be that big of a deal. And that application didn't go anywhere. And then I applied the summer of 2023. And kind of similarly, it wasn't a great time. Like I had kind of just started a new job. I had just graduated from business school, but I was like, you know what? Like, why not? Just kind of a little bit in the like, I feel like when you're in grad school, you get to have a little bit of like being a child again. Like the world is my oyster. I can have any dream. I can like have any job. And so that was kind of the vibe that I was riding. And so I applied, and that was the application that ended up getting me as an alternate on 48.
Awesome.
And the alternate experience is like a whole can of worms that we can get into if we want. But I was so close to my dream that I remember like being on the plane, because they fly you all the way out to Fiji. You are literally there, and then they yank you back home. And so that's when I was like, okay, I am getting on this show next year, or I am never trying again. Like, this is it. And thank goodness that, like casting reached out to me. I didn't have to submit another video, but they reached out to me. Yeah. Reached out to me to see if I wanted to be on 49. And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, the success rate of alternates getting on, I feel like it's pretty good, right? Because if you make it as an alternate, I know it's not guaranteed, but it's like.
Yeah. I was doing a lot of research on this to console myself when I got back.
I would literally be doing the same exact thing.
I was like, come on, like looking up all the stats. But yeah, it's pretty high because you are like a really known quantity at that point. Not only have you gone through the casting process, but you have like met a bunch of the on beach producers. You've filmed a confessional. You've like done a lot of the interviews, and you have taken all the press photos. Like you have done almost everything except for play the game. And so I feel like at that point, you are giving the producers all of the information about you as possible. Whereas somebody who just goes through like a normal casting process, it's kind of like the difference between hiring an intern and hiring somebody off the street. Like, I've worked for you a little bit, like, come on. So that definitely high success rate for alternates.
And your season had 2 unexpected. Oh wait, no, yeah, 4.
4 total, but 2 unexpected.
2 of the which I want to talk more about that later.
Yeah.
Because this whole thing is crazy with what happened with your season.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you're following, like, are you on Reddit at all?
You know what? I am not, because I learned during the like airing of the show, some things you just don't need to read. Yeah. Even the good stuff, you're like, I don't need the opinions of a stranger to affect how I feel about myself, positively or negatively, really.
Mhm.
But I have a lot of friends in the Reddit space because like I am a Survivor fan. So I have a lot of friends who love those things. And so I get it kind of trickles down to me.
Yeah.
So I know about a lot of the swirl and a lot of the drama with
Yeah.
the alternates and the cheating and all of that nonsense.
And going back to how, just like I said earlier, that, and I'll say it again because we weren't recording, but you guys are filmed for 23 out of 24 hours a day. All of that is crushed down, condensed into
Yeah.
90-minute episodes that have commercials,
Mm-hmm.
which translates mathematically to about only 0.17% of what happened being shown. So that's another reason why I wanted to start this podcast, was to give you guys players an
Yeah.
avenue. And I know it's not a huge audience right now, but hey, we're growing,
Yeah.
and just give you guys a platform to, like, voice your own opinions. What do you really think happened? Because we don't know.
Yeah.
And I know when you just brought up, like, that's what, I agree with that. Like, I don't want to read shitty things about
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
So, but it just kind of irks me a little bit because those people that make those comments, they have no idea what they're talking about.
No idea. And, for me, especially, like everyone has a different experience with the game and then the edit. And for me personally, I really got, I think, like record low screen time in the first half
I
of
was
the
wondering, like,
season.
the first few episodes, I'm like, where's Sophie S been?
Oh my God. There's like one episode where like Jeff has a confessional and I don't have one. Like that's unheard of. And to your point, it is so crazy because I was there. Like I was there. There is footage of me. It's not like I wasn't on screen, like I was there. I am sleeping in the sand, eating coconuts, doing all the challenges, and none of it is being shown. And it's a really like I think I in talking about it before have like equated it to being gaslit where you're like, I know that I was there, but I'm not seeing it on screen. And the other thing that really kind of complicates it is for most things in your life these days, you have some type of physical or digital paper trail that you were there. Like you go on a vacation, you have photos on your phone, you just have things from that time period. We don't have our phones. We have nothing. So if I don't see it on TV, I don't actually know like what I
Did
looked
it
like.
happen?
Did
Wait,
it
was
happen?
I actually there?
Like there's literally no record anywhere. Like I mean, yeah, in a box in CBS's basement, there are like, I was gonna say rolls of film, but I'm sure it's
Right.
not shot on film
Yeah,
anymore.
just digitize, like,
Digitized
files.
copies. But like there's a period of time where I remember being like, I have no idea, like, what was I wearing around camp? Which of my like very few clothes did I choose to wear? I couldn't tell you, you know?
Yeah.
So it's that piece is really, yeah, just really trippy that you can have these memories and experiences that are so important to you. And I'm sure we'll get to on your podcast, change you as a person, and nobody ever gets to see them.
Mhm.
And you feel a little bit like the person who cried wolf, where you're like, no, no, I swear, I like caught a crab or
Yeah.
I started fire and, fix it or it didn't happen is kind of what a lot of people on the internet are
I love
saying.
that. Yeah. And that's
So,
going back again, it's just such little is shown, and these people just make assumptions based off what they
yeah,
see, and there's literally, 99% of other things happened that they didn't see. So
totally.
it's hard. But
Yeah.
so when you finally got that official call, right, saying you're in,
Yeah.
like, you're in, what did those next few weeks look like for you? Like, how did you just set your life up to just disappear
Yeah.
for 5 weeks?
I think the first thing was work. Like I work a corporate job. I knew that was going to be what caused me the most stress, honestly, in leaving. But I was really lucky in that YouTube, where I work, has like a pretty generous leave policy.
Wait,
And
did you say you work at YouTube?
yes, I work at YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, I
Not,
didn't
I
know that.
don't
What do
do
you do?
I do product strategy. So definitely on like the business back end side of things. I'm not doing anything fun with creators, unfortunately.
Still super
But
cool though that you work for
yeah,
YouTube. How long have you been there?
I've been there for a little over a year now.
Okay,
So
awesome.
yeah, also like similarly, I think I'd only been there for like 5 or 6 months when I got the call, but I knew that my like skip level, huge Survivor fan.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I feel like if I tell my manager and my director, look, I need to take, 5 or 6 weeks off, to film a reality TV show, but it's Survivor, like that would really help and that would be in my favor. And
Mm.
so yeah, they were so supportive and it was a lot of I feel like when you tell people that that's like this is a life dream of mine, like everyone that I worked with like wanted me to be able to do this. So it was a lot of like all hands on deck to cover while I was away. But then like from a personal standpoint, how do you get ready to leave is I was trying to think of like what is a convincing lie that I can tell my friends that they will believe that not only am I not in New York for 5 weeks, but I am off the grid. Like, you cannot reach me via text. I will not be posting on Instagram.
Ooh, I'm interested. What did you say?
So, what I said was that I was going to work out of YouTube's like Tokyo offices and that I was just going to be using my work phone while I was there and not my personal phone. Which I mean, this is such BS because there's Wi-Fi everywhere. Like I was trying to be like, oh, serve like for to save money. I don't want to get international texting charges. I don't even like those aren't really that much of a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Tokyo for work for like 5 weeks. I missed a couple weddings.
Oh, wow.
But I will say,
Were
I
they
had a lot
close?
of
Like,
friends.
really close?
They were really close friends, but I have like all of my friends know that I had applied for 48 and knew about the alternate situation. And so I think there was a little bit of two and two being put together
Okay.
when I was like, I'm going to Asia for work and you won't be able to contact me for 5 weeks. And they're like, weird. That's like aligning with when Survivor usually films. Like, huh. And like Sophie's really in the gym and she's got a lot of puzzles in her house. Like, what's going on? So I think there were a lot of friends who like I have some texts that are like, you're either dead in a ditch or you're on Survivor. And I think it's the other one. So kill it,
That's
girl.
gotta be so hard because, like, you can't say anything either.
No.
I
And you
don't know.
want to. You
Yeah.
want to share this with your friends and the great news because yeah, they've seen you like I sent my application video to my friends for their input and we would talk because I'm in a Survivor Fantasy League. Like I have a lot of friends who are also big fans. And so we'd often talk like, okay, strategy wise, what would you do if you got out there? Like, okay, Sophie, imagine. And so it stinks to not really be able to share in that until after. But yeah, it was I'm a yapper, and it was tough to really sit on that secret for a
No,
while.
I'm the same way, and that would be super hard.
So
I was talking with Liz. I had Liz from season
mhm.
46 on.
Yeah, icon.
My god, the Applebee's moment, and, like, I love talking to her about that. It
Yeah.
was just like, because I related so closely with that because I love food. Like,
Oh my
I
god.
and, like, who doesn't love food? But, like, I love food, I
Yeah.
promise. And, like, real quick, I'm
Yeah.
also trying to get on Survivor
Oh,
someday.
hell yeah.
So, I just started applying actually, like, I think I've only applied twice, but the first one I
Okay.
did was, like, right at the end of the castings,
Mm,
like, process, so I'm
mhm.
like, I felt rushed and, like, it was shitty, the video I put together,
Yeah.
and then I took a lot of time on the second one, which is for, 51 and
Mm,
52, so I'm
mhm.
very hopeful.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you. Sam Phelan from 47, when I had him
Mhm.
on, he was like, "You'll get out there." He's like, "I'm rooting for you." I'm like, "Dude, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you." Because, like, it's seriously like a life. I can't explain to you,
Yeah.
and I know we're going off the beaten path here, and I'm sorry, but
No, let's go.
let's go.
Get off that path.
I was never a huge Survivor fan, right? I
Mm.
I remember, so I'm 30. Oh God, hang on. I gotta remember. I always forget how old I am. I'm 34. And growing up, like, I never watched Survivor. It was always
Yeah.
on TV, and I was like,
Yeah.
I might have caught, a couple minutes of it here or there, but I was like, what the
Right.
hell? These people are on an island. Is this even real? Like, I didn't
Yeah.
think it was like real. I thought it was just,
Right.
scripted.
Totally.
And then last February, it was when season 47 was airing. I
Mhm.
was changing my daughter's diaper in the living room and the TV was off. And I'm like, I just want to put something on, right? So I'm
Yeah.
scrolling through YouTube TV and I'm like, oh, Survive. I'm like, this
Yeah.
show's still on?
Still kicking, baby.
So I throw it on. I threw it on, and Kyle had just won, like, his, I don't know, third or fourth
Oh,
immunity
mhm.
challenge, and he had a real personal moment with Jeff
Yeah.
and story about, his upbringing and, like, how he
Yeah.
was through, like, 20 plus, like, foster homes by the
Yeah.
time he was like 18 or whatever. And his story really resonated with me, and I can't explain it, but, like, I felt something when I watched that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to go out here and do this."
Yes. Yes.
Because, like, I've been through a lot. I've gone through divorce, and I have
Mhm.
2 kids, but we are not the kids I have are actually with my current girlfriend. So,
Okay.
luckily, my ex-wife and I, we didn't have kids. We
Yeah.
tried for a year.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
just didn't
that's
happen.
tough.
So happy now, I have my
Yeah.
girlfriend and our 2
Oh,
beautiful kids, so, like, everything worked out, but, like, everything I've been to up until this point, I'm like, "I need to get out there."
yes.
So,
Yeah.
long story short, I was never a super fan, but once I saw that episode, I've been literally obsessed ever since. I mean, look,
Locked
I
in.
started up
Yeah.
this podcast,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like when I got on the show, I've been watching for since old era through new era, I've been watching. But I feel like I have a lot of friends now who are very similar to you who either remember watching it growing up like a season or two or like the first season, then stopped and then started again because they just wanted to watch my season or they wanted to like catch up so that they could understand my season. Who like some this is for somebody else to interpret why, but I feel like a lot of people are really resonating with the show or really seeing this as like something like a challenge that they want to do. Like I think yeah, you go through some hard things in your life and you're like, "Okay, wait, I could really I'm pretty tough. Like I could do that too. Like I've been through some shit. Like I could starve on an island. Like put me out
Mhm.
there. Let me see what I can do." And I think that's a really yeah, not a lot of reality TV anymore is that type of experience. And yeah, I think people watch it and they are like, "Okay, I feel like this would be great for me and great for my life and like let's go do this."
Yeah. That's how I feel about it, like, it's so cool, just the
Yeah.
concept of, like, you're literally you've never met these people before, and you just
Yeah.
stick them on an island, and they
Mhm.
gotta vote somebody out after every week,
Yeah.
and there's all sorts of challenges, you don't have any food, you
Yeah.
don't have any relationships, like you said earlier, like,
Mm-mm.
you literally have no one, you
You got
just yourself.
nothing.
So
Just
you
you.
gotta hope your ability to, talk to people and make friends and, like which
Mhm.
I'm very good at, I'm very sociable.
Yeah. I will say, okay, one thing I wanted to say when you were talking about Liz and the food, I feel like what we miss in these recent seasons of Survivor is how hungry you are. And like, I feel like I felt like Liz a ton and had like, we all had many like explosions like that at camp and they just don't show them. And so when I went
Interesting.
out there, like we were all like, haha, Liz like really took that super personally. And so when I went out there, I kind of was like, oh, not eating, like you get over it. Your body adjusts. It's fine. No, like you're sure your body adjusts a little, but it is brutal. It is miserable. Like I, unless I'm back on the show, I hope I never have to starve again. It is horrible. And so like, it's crazy to me that we see that outburst from Liz and it seems so out of place, but I feel like we all felt that so often.
I'm sure it's, like,
Oh,
relieving for you guys to, like, watch Liz do that, especially I know it happened before you went
yeah.
out there, but, like, now that you experienced it, you can look back and be like, "Oh, I get why she
Oh
did
my
that."
God. For sure. I feel like there was one day where like, because sometimes it helps people to talk about food. I was not one of them. And one
Oh,
day,
I couldn't
like
talk about food.
we're sitting on the beach and everyone's talking about like, oh, I would just love for chips and queso or guac or like, oh my gosh, a fajita. And I was like, I need to like, I'm sorry, I gotta get away. Like, I'm going, I can't, can we not? Like,
I don't
I
know
don't
how
want to talk about
anybody
this.
could do that. How could anybody talk about
I
food
don't
when you
know. I'm
don't
like,
have it?
and let me go eat like a raw coconut. Like, no, thank you. Okay. I'm gonna walk away from you guys. And it's probably gonna hurt me strategically because now you're all gonna talk about me behind my back, but like, do not talk to me about chips and guac right now.
That's so funny. Speaking of
Yeah.
food, how did the food on the reward challenges taste? Trying to think how many how
Mm,
many how many
I
how
got a
many
lot.
reward challenges for food did you get?
In the early days, I got like the fruit and the chicken. And then I got the merge feast, and then I got the fried chicken reward. And and then I got the burger reward. I got the first
Oh,
sanctuary
yeah.
reward. So I actually got a lot. I think if I were to stack rank them, the burger at the sanctuary was like by far the best. Like so good. The fried chicken, there was no hot sauce.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
There was
interesting. When I eat fried chicken, I don't think I've ever used hot sauce on fried
I'm
chicken.
a sauced
Me
girl.
too.
And
Like my friends call me the
yeah.
condiment king.
Yeah, I'm a saucy girl. So I actually I really scandalized Jawan because there was also a cheesecake with like blueberry like compote, and the fried chicken, I will be honest, was a little dry. And so I was just like dipping it in the like blueberry sauce. I was like, it's like chicken and waffles. Like this is like
That
a
sounds kind of
thing.
good.
It was delicious, but yeah, I was getting some looks. I was really an innovator in the food scene on our season, I think, in terms of like, I know I famously was really dissing the fruit reward, but I
Oh yeah,
ate
I forgot about that. I remember that. Like fruit, come on. Where's
It's
the good
like, give me
stuff?
something real. But I ate the full buffalo with the fruit. I ate every peel. I was like, I'm
You
not
eat
gonna
the
let any of this.
peels?
I ate banana peels. I ate the like skin of a pineapple. I like people would finish. The only thing
That's
I did not,
awesome.
yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna eat the skin of a pomegranate. The pomegranate skin is kind of tough, but like, I don't know, there were all these banana peels, and I was like, you know what? Like calories. I don't care. Like, what's the
How
worst
did a
that can
banana peel
happen?
taste?
Honestly, pretty good. Like, it tasted just like a lighter flavor of banana. That was probably the best peel. Orange peel, don't recommend eating. Pineapple peel, also don't recommend eating. I mean, there was a joke. I think Steven was saying that, like the joke was that I was like the garnish goblin. Like I would just finish it all. And yeah, anybody had leftovers. I was like, oh, I will like food is fuel.
Yeah.
You're gonna throw that away? I'll eat
Yeah.
it.
No, I'm curious. I wonder how much nutrition is actually in like a banana peel.
I don't know, but
But
part of me
when
was
you're
like,
that hungry, it's just like, why not
it
eat
just
it? I
feels
mean,
like
it's not
filling space in my stomach,
right,
for a
right.
little bit. But
When I get out there, I'm a little worried because I hate coconut.
mm,
I'm gonna eat it, obviously,
yeah,
but like I'm not looking forward to it. I just really dislike coconut. Hopefully
yeah.
there could be some. Isn't there some papayas out there?
Sometimes there's papayas. I think Uli Beach had papayas, which was huge, and then Kelly Beach,
That's
North
really,
Beach.
sorry to interrupt, but like
Yeah,
that's really, I guess, advantageous for some people that their beach just happens to have papayas.
we would debate this a lot because like Uli had papayas, but like Hina, where I started, had a lot of crab and it had a lot of snails. And like snails are the lowest effort protein that you could get because they would just be on rocks. You just like pluck them off and like really easy to cook. The only thing is like you need a hammer to like get through the shell, but Kelly had breadfruit, which are these like massive starchy fruit where if you cook it, it actually kind of tastes like potato. And so that's like the closest thing to like a true carb you could get. And it is like we would debate it a lot that, depending on what beach you're on, it really changes like what you can eat and also like where you can sleep. Like it's another variable in the game of
Yeah.
Survivor,
And
you
my
know?
guess is that the showrunners and Jeff, like when they're planning it all out, they take that into account. They're like, all right, well, this beach has this, but this beach
Yeah.
has this stuff. So it's like
Right.
not a huge.
Nobody is like fully, it's not like one beach has nothing. It's just they
Mhm.
all have kind of different things. And especially with like all the tribe swaps our season, a lot of people got to kind of bebop around and see some of the different beaches. But
Mhm.
and I got a grilled cheese reward. I just remembered that because there
Ooh.
were brownies with it, and it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best brownie I'd ever had.
My favorite was when Saul. You guys didn't do the Survivor auction, which is kind of a
No,
bummer.
such a bummer.
And I love when I started watching. I was, like I said earlier, 47 and 47 did an auction, and I love that because I was talking to Saul about. I don't know if you remember, but he got the pie, just a
Yes.
full on like pot, like
Mm,
blueberry. And I was talking to him about it, and he was like,
yeah.
he pretty much said it was like it was orgasmic, like it was the
I'm
best thing I've ever tasted.
That's how this brownie, because this actually wasn't shown, but this was one of the tribe challenges after one of the swaps. So it was when we went from 2 tribes back to 3, and we were all really hurting. That was the episode that Christina had like kind of a heat stroke essentially, and part of the reward were brownies. And somehow we negotiated with Jeff, like let's all agree before we do this challenge to give up 3. I think there were like 12 brownies. Give up 3 of those brownies, give 1 to each tribe right now because we were so gassed. And so we each had like a fourth of brownie before starting this challenge and completely retweet. It was orgasmic. I love coconut, and there was like a little hint of coconut. Like I have tried to Google the recipe for those like Fijian Survivor brownies, and I'm actually kicking myself because I meant to ask a producer at the finale when I saw them and I forgot. So
Damn.
next time I see anybody, I will ask. But it like I would love somebody to study like our energy levels right before the brownie and then getting it, because not only was it just like chocolate and yummy and like sugar rush, but there was something like yeah, like kind of spiritual or like
Euphoric.
yeah, for the soul, where I was like, this just fed my soul. I'm gonna go rock this challenge.
Well, you've got so many different things, right? You've got one, the unbelievable taste. Like it's just
Yes.
so good.
You haven't had sugar in
You haven't had sugar. So
days.
you're hyped up, you're
Yeah.
hyper, and then also you're just happy because you just
You're
got a
just
brownie.
happy. You just got a brownie. Yeah, so that was definitely a high, and that was a moment where I was like, "Oh wow, food is powerful. Food is a drug."
Yeah. What would you say the hardest part was when you got back?
Mm,
So cameras stop rolling,
yeah.
finale's over, you get back. What was like, what was just adjusting to normal life like?
Yeah. I think the hardest part was you go from a situation, we'll call it, where like the stakes are so high. Like if you don't win, you don't eat. If you don't win, you go home. Like it just on Survivor, there are what felt like, and yeah, sure, people at home are like, oh, it's a game, but whatever. In the world of Survivor, there are legitimate stakes. And I come back and I am sitting at my desk and I'm like, does any of this matter? Like the stakes in normal life felt so low. And so there was a weird moment of just like Survivor was such an extreme way to live, high highs, low lows. Everything feels like such in color. You're fully enmeshed in it all the time. Like I was never bored when I was out there. And you come back to real life and it's like going from like life in full color to like kind of like life in black and white.
Mhm.
And your normal life just it doesn't have the high highs or the low lows. It doesn't have the stakes and it just seems boring. Yeah, that was a really tough adjustment. And I think also exacerbated by the fact I went from Fiji to New York City. So I went
Mhm.
from like world of like no distractions. You could just really be like in nature to coming back and it's the screaming city, overstimulated and but yet still feeling like kind of nothing. And
Mhm.
that was really difficult. That like, yeah, it took a long time for me to, yeah, for me to kind of adjust to like kind of recalibrate to okay, what's normal because like you can't I'm sure it's not great also to live your life with in such extremes, but it definitely for a while I was yeah, like really sad and very and like really missing the beach. And I remember when was it? Because again, like we had no pictures, no nothing from being out there. And I think I was taking out some of my clothes from Survivor to like get them dry cleaned because I'd been avoiding it. And like there was like sand in my pocket. And I just started crying because I was like, yeah, had such an amazing time out there. And like, I'm here, like in corporate America, living in a city, back just in this rat race. And I just want to be back sleeping on a beach.
Yeah. Did you get to
So,
keep anything?
oh, I have,
I was gonna say, I
okay.
think I see that.
Got my bag. Okay, this I will be honest, this is not the real necklace. My
Okay.
mom found somebody who specializes in like recreating them and got this for Christmas, but this is my real bag and I have like I won't take them out because they're all gross, but I or they're clean but they're disgusting. I have all of my Survivor clothes
Oh, that's so
still.
cool.
And then at some point we will receive our torches
Oh,
back. And
really?
I think my water bottle is in there too, also like pretty beat up.
Do you know if they're
Um
doing that with, the other seasons as well? I can't remember if I've ever
you know what? I think I think everyone like gets their like kind of their bag. But I know there was a period of time where folks didn't get their torches. They were usually like auctioned off.
Yeah.
But at some point, I don't know when, at some point in the past couple seasons, they are now giving us our torches, which
That's gonna be
is
so
really
cool to
huge.
hang up your
Yeah.
oh my
I
god.
know. I'm gonna have to like find a cool way to display it for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh my god, that is
Yeah.
so cool. So, yeah, I mean, it's an adjustment, and I can relate to that because I have ADHD and I, like, constantly just I'm, like, stimulating my brain, like, I
Yes.
just need, like, that, 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 that. So, like, going from that, like you just said, where
Yeah.
you're in survival mode 24/7, like, there's
Yeah.
always something going on, you having to do
Mhm.
something, which I would love because, again, like, I love being busy and things like that.
Same.
But then you come back and it's like, "Damn." I could just imagine it, like, I'm sitting back here, like, that's my work desk behind me, and it's
Yeah.
like, I'm just at work, and I'm like, What am I doing?
Yes, I feel like there is like I distinctly remember one day like sitting at my desk in the office under fluorescent lighting and like one of my work friends is like, "You good?" And I was like, "No. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. All of this is meaningless. I'm inside." Also, like I come back and it's the summer. I'm like, "Inside, it's a beautiful day. I should be outside. I don't see any green." Like just yeah.
What about the watch party for 49?
Mm.
Did you have a watch party?
Yes, I had 2. I had one when I won the first individual immunity, and then I had one for, like, my boot episode, and both were just like I really had like wonderful times at both. I had like rented out bars in the city and it was so fun to just watch with all of the people who have been supporting me through this journey and like encouraged me to apply or inspired me. And in the episode where I win the first individual immunity, I shout out my mom.
Mm.
And I didn't like, we don't know, we do not see the episodes before they air. To your point, very small percentage of what we say makes it. So I had no idea if that was going to be included or not. And my parents had like come up to the city from Maryland where I'm from to this party. And so the fact that like I was able to be with her in person when like I shouted her out and like my mom is a huge Survivor fan too. Like to have Jeff like talk about her and know about her like it was just yeah,
That's
that was like
incredible.
yeah, it was maybe one of my favorite memories I've had, and I was so, so happy to get to do that. My other thought is, like, I feel like there are some people who maybe for their boot episode don't want a lot of people around, and I was kind of like, "You know what? No, this is a celebration," even though, yeah, obviously very sad to be voted out. Wish I could have gone further, but let's celebrate what an accomplishment this is, and yeah, have, like, a
Right.
party, and
And it could have been worse. I mean, you made it to final 7, right?
yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of how I did, and I'm so happy with, like, making the jury and getting to, like, yeah, feel like you're a part of the game kind of throughout the entirety of the season. So, yeah, I had so much fun at my watch parties.
That's awesome. What advice could you
Mm,
give someone trying to get their own shot on Survivor? Not necessarily like, casting advice,
right.
but kind of a lesson or a
Mm,
concept to keep in mind, when they finally get out there and their feet hit the
yeah.
sand.
Mm. I mean, the most tactical advice that I have is like find a number one ride or die. I mean that's like my biggest critique of my own game is you need somebody who is going to have your back and you just do and I
And
feel like that
you have to be able to fully trust them. And that's what makes the game so hard. It's because like at the end of the day, everyone is there for the $1,000,000. They're
everyone
not
is
there
there for
to help
themselves.
you, to be your
Yeah.
friend.
No, and so you need to find somebody who can get you to like Final Four, because then all bets are off. Then Final Four, we're scrappy, we're fighting to the end. But like that's why I feel like sometimes it's so impressive that Rachel won because there were many times where she was like she did not have somebody in her corner looking out for her, and I feel like typically with winners, you see that they're part of like a super tight 2 or 3, and it's not until like Final Four that really people start turning on each other. And so that's I think like the most important like find that person or those 2 people and like lock it in as early as possible because yeah, it's a hard game to just to your point because everyone's looking out for themselves. It's a really hard game to just be doing on your own. And so you need at least another set of eyes to be
Yeah.
checking for you.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's literally impossible to win Survivor by yourself. You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
You need an alliance. And that was not, I remember what I was going to ask earlier
Yeah.
because I feel like you didn't have any like super strong alliances, right?
No, it's
You
funny because
kind
I
of
feel
tried to
like
play the middle a little bit.
tried to play the middle. I feel like MC, like Steven and I were pretty close in like early Hina days, but then yeah, like I feel like I was everyone's like number 2. Like I was like just like everybody had somebody else. And then I was like, "Oh, like I was their like second member of who they thought." And so like as a result, I feel like there were times when like MC told Steven about her idol and like not me or like at one point like Christina was like sharing things with Alex but not me. And so yeah, I feel like I was in a bunch of alliances but like 3 of 3 in the ranking. And that's a tough place to be, especially when you are a challenge threat. Like you need a little bit of cover, and
Mhm.
you need somebody because you're always going to be like like kind of an easy target. So you need somebody else who's got your back. And I just like never really fully had that. And yeah, so if I could go back, and it's funny because like coming out there, I was like, oh, I feel like I can just kind of really play this middle thing. And you feel like you see that working on previous seasons, but I think you really just gotta find one.
Yeah.
And then then you can make like little trades here and there and do like partner with some people at some times and then drop them, but you really just need one
Mhm.
and you can rock from there.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the one and only
Mm,
RIZGOD Riz God
Riz
Baby?
God.
So
Yeah.
at first I was like, this kid is a tool. But you know what? I will say he is super compelling and he played
Oh
a
yeah.
great game and I'm proud of him. He's funny too.
I love Rizzo. I agree in that I could see where the RIZGOD, because like we didn't like that was all in his confessionals. We didn't see that on the beach. And so on the beach, I like he really is such a fan of the show and so earnestly excited to be out there. And honestly, sometimes it was really inspirational playing with him because I think one of the things he would say is like, getting voted out fourth, getting voted out 11th, like it's the same to me. Like I am here to win. That is what I'm coming to do. Like, and because I feel like sometimes there's a point where you're like, it might be okay if I go home tonight. Like I'm at peace with it. But I feel like Rizzo is such a fan and student of the show that he was just always going to win in his brain and never allowing himself like, actually it would be okay if I just made the jury, or
Mhm.
actually it would be okay if I just made final five. But
As long as
yeah,
you're not first voted out.
as long oh my god, as long as you're not first boot. Woo,
Which
that is
first
tough.
boot was Nicole, right?
Nicole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like first boot is so tough, but no, I love Rizzo. I can't wait to see what he does on 50. He played a great game on 49, and I feel like we were just really lucky that a lot of our cast, I feel like because it's funny, like in person in the game, like really just great, genuine people. And then everything that happens in confessionals, some of it is gamesmanship, some of it is we're playing it up for the cameras, and some of it is who people are. And
Yeah.
we don't always know which percentage is which, but it is funny just because like I don't think we knew about Riz God until like at least halfway through the season when Jeff like outed him. But other than that, it was only ever in his confessionals. And so like we never
Hmm.
really knew about that nickname.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
Because it was like such a spectacle that he put
Such a
on, like in
thing.
his pre-game interviews, and like
Mhm.
that's so cool that they keep all
Yeah.
that stuff kind of like to the side, you know?
Right, right. And I think that's like another piece of only 1% of filming is shown, but also like as a player, you only know 1 of 18 of experience. And so even if they're showing things exactly as they happened, you don't know what people are saying to their confessionals. You don't know what's happening in conversations that you're not a part of. And so what is shown on TV can feel really different than what you live because you yourself only lived a small percentage of the total of people who are out there.
Yeah. There's a common saying that a lot of other players that I've had on have said, and it's there's Survivor the game and Survivor the TV show. And
Yes,
they're two
exactly.
completely different things. And that
Totally different.
I think is the easiest way to sum up just the fact that we keep speaking on it is that
Yeah.
such little is shown. It's just
Mhm.
but going back to the confessional, so I
Yeah.
was just thinking of something like because you guys don't see these episodes
No.
until they air.
Mhm.
So how did two things. One, how did you pick which episodes to have your watch party?
Mm.
It was just kind of random or
No, I knew. You can kind of do math based on like every episode somebody is voted out. There are typically
right.
13 episodes. And so I was able to like based on when people were voted out, guess which were going to be the episodes that I won immunity and then I was going to get voted out on.
That makes sense.
So, yeah, it's a little bit of just behind the scenes math.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
then the second part to that question is, since you guys don't see the episodes as they air,
Mhm.
was there ever a time where you watched somebody's confessional and they said something that pissed you off or like you didn't agree with, or you're like, that's not what happened?
It's funny. I feel like there were a couple times where I don't know if it was in a confessional, but I feel like there was one time where Steven said something to Sage about me, like playing a terrible, like this. There was a lot that happened back at camp when there was that split tribal and it was the MC vote.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of things that were said when people just assumed I was going home. And I feel like Steven said something. I feel like Alex said something. Like there were just like a couple things where I was like, all right, like, okay, I see how it is. And, I feel like there are some people who like really lean in to the reality TV-ness of Survivor, and in confessionals, like kind of turn their volume up to 10 when they are like trash talking somebody or whatever. And like that wasn't quite my style. Like I feel like everything I said in a confessional would have said to somebody's face. I don't think that's necessarily true of a lot of people
Yeah.
who play the game. And so there were a couple times where I feel like people, were kind of like swept up in, oh, Sophie's going home, like pile on. Yeah. So that was one where I was like, all right, okay, guys, like, come on. And then I think the other time that I saw a confessional, I was like, that's not how it was. I'm trying to remember when it was, but there was just a lot of chatter, I think, once about like who are challenge threats. And I feel like you forget that also we know like players use confessionals to their advantage. And so if they're going to go vote somebody out, they're going to talk about somebody as if they're a threat, maybe when they're not. Like there's a lot of like we're trying to curry favor with the audience. Like sometimes you want to vote somebody out just cuz, but you don't want to say that. So you're going to be like they're a huge challenge threat or whatever. And I feel like there was a period of time where like people were really giving Steven some flowers for challenges where I was like, I don't know if he deserves it yet. Like he went on to then win a lot and totally fulfill that. But there was an early time where a couple people were like, oh, he's the biggest threat challenge-wise out there other than Savannah. And I was like, no, it's me. I'm taking that a little personally. But that's a little ego mixed in there. So
no, and that's like one of the just brilliant parts of this game. It's like just blending all these strangers together and the human element, it just takes over. And it's just like, speaking of Steven, I love that he was one of my favorite. I mean, I had a lot of favorites. You were one of my favorites. Rizzo eventually, he became one of my favorites. I really liked Steven. I liked Alex.
Steven's great. Yeah.
I liked Sophie. How do you say her last name?
Bilardi.
Bilardi.
Yeah,
Bilardi.
Yeah.
I like Sophie Bilardi, but as information came out, my opinion kind of started to shift on her, and I'm not entirely too, I guess, concrete on my opinions of her now, but she was interesting. And with that, like, let's segue into the whole and the Sage thing. Like, I don't know if you follow Sage on Instagram.
Yes,
So did you see all of the?
I saw the posts and
did
everything.
you watch the video?
I did not watch the video. I could not find 40 minutes, but I know roughly what she says.
Yeah, I meant to watch it, but it was only up for like, I don't know if she took it down or it got taken down. But going into the season, you knew some rules were broken, but you didn't know what rules were broken. I guess kind of because like they put out that statement that was like 2 players were removed, because they broke some rules. And if you can talk about it, I don't know if you can, but how did all of that transpire, and how big of an issue, was the pre-gaming of 49?
Yeah, it's funny because having been an alternate for 48, I feel like Sage and I were really the only ones who could have known what pre-gaming was supposed to be. So 48 did not talk at all. 47, I think Sage says similarly, not a lot of talking. And I am a huge rule follower. And so when I came out for 49 and there was a little bit more chatter that I was comfortable with, I really just had to remove myself because you can't do anything about it. And it's a really strange situation where you will be on a beach with these people. So I was like, I can't be out here like I'm not going to shush anybody. I'm not going to so for me personally, I don't actually know what happened specifically with the 2 people who were kicked off. And I don't know, I didn't see what Sage said happened, but I will say that the level of talking in 49 was much more than 48. And I just couldn't handle it. And so I just would really separate myself from everyone, try not to sit around people who were talking, really was I was not going to break those rules. And
I mean, I wouldn't either. And I think you're I'm a rule follower, but I will break
Yeah.
them when, certain rules, but not like with
Right.
this game. And when the stakes are so high and you've literally busted your ass to get to this spot.
I was like, I've been an alternate once. Like, I am not gonna get sent home. And yeah, like just really separated myself from that. And it's a real bummer that pre-gaming can affect Survivor the game. And from what I've seen online now, it sounds like other reality TV shows take it much more seriously. And, shows even like RuPaul's Drag Race, where it's a competition show, but it's not the importance of like making sure that people don't collude ahead of time. It doesn't matter. They're sequestered in separate hotel rooms. Like they don't see each other until the show starts. Like it sounds like there are other reality TV shows that take the pre-gaming process a little bit more seriously and have worked out a way to make it such that that can't happen. And that's just not the case with Survivor. And so, yeah, part of me is like, I wish that it didn't affect the game. The asterisk is that I got MC and Jason. And I don't know who those two people who were kicked off are, but I can tell you this, that because they were kicked off and how they were behaving, would have hated to be on a tribe with them. And I was going to be. Like, thank God. Like
I didn't
literally,
think about that.
thank
That's a good point.
God. Every single day on that beach, I was like, thank God I have MC and Jason and not those two losers. Like,
Mhm.
you like
Did you see them at all? Like what they looked like?
yes, like you see everybody, you know what they look like.
But you don't know their names. Like, do you know the
I
names
don't
of the
know
two
their
people?
names. But like my perspective is if you disrespect the game that much that you would be kicked off, that's not somebody I want to work with, you know?
Yeah.
We all work so hard to be here and you just threw that away. Like that's not really anybody I
Yeah.
respect or want to work with. So
Yeah.
it's really an interesting catch 22 because had Survivor had different pregame policies that would prevent us from physically being able to break rules, I would have had to work with those people and that would have sucked, I'm sure. And
Mm.
so I'm thrilled that like it's MC and Jason who I loved and like I'm such good friends with MC now. Like I can't imagine if she didn't get to play or if Jason didn't get to play. But it's a weird thing where it's unfortunate that pregame behaviors got in the way, but also like to kind of what the thesis of this whole podcast has been, Survivor is a game of humans and not everybody's created equal. Everyone has different priorities. Everyone is different. And so, yeah, casting just picked two people who, yeah, were willing
Which I'm
to break the
surprised because
dice.
it's pretty like the process, right? I mean, they go through the severity of,
Yeah.
the NDAs and like what you
Right.
can't say and the consequences of what'll happen if you do say it. So,
Yeah.
and like to your point, I'm a big rule follower like
Yeah.
you, especially when it comes to games and competition or
Yes.
any sort. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't like cheaters. I mean, who does
No.
like cheaters? But like, that's just unfortunate. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a way that they could combat that. And I don't know if it's,
You know what? Yeah. I feel like if they had a legitimate way to combat that, we would have seen something from them on Instagram. But I think whatever was the straw that broke the camel's back was, you know, must have
I mean,
been
and if the two people got removed, like they must have been going pretty like in deep. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
right. Like I don't think CBS would take that risk to remove somebody who might not like I think they probably had concrete evidence.
yeah.
Um
At first, I was like, I read the thing and it didn't really say much. I'm like, oh no, were they
right.
like, I'm like, were they banging?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
But I
I
don't know.
mean
Is
that's
that
a
a
whole
thing?
nother
Like, well, you can't do that in
no,
pregame, obviously. But like, has that ever happened on Survivor? I'm trying to think now. Is there ever like
I don't
any?
think so. I feel like Rob and Amber definitely had like some canoodling. I feel like, you see people who like get really close, but I don't think it's funny because people ask like that was the first question I got when I came back was like, do people hook up? And I was like, you haven't showered. Like you
Yeah.
are disgusting. You are tired. And also, I'm trying to vote your ass out. I love it. I
Yeah.
love a showman's. Like I love D manipulating Austin. Excellent. Excellent TV.
You
But
love.
like I don't think anyone's gonna go far. Like it would be super diabolical to like hook up with somebody and then vote them out. But I'm here for it. That's some
Hey,
like
that would be.
housewives
Yeah.
level shit. And like
That
I
would be
would love
good.
to see that.
When I get on Survivor, I
Yes.
don't want.
Yes. Let's
First of
know.
all,
We're
I have this.
manifesting this
Yeah, we're manifesting.
when Aaron gets on Survivor.
I have a girlfriend, right? But even if
Yeah.
I didn't, the last thing on my mind is going to be trying to
Oh, yeah.
get like, obviously I'll be friends with you, but
Right.
like we're not there for that.
No, no.
And if you want to,
Yeah,
pursue something like after, if you feel
right.
that connection, like,
Yeah,
and I'm not saying I'm against showmances. It's
right.
nice to see sometimes, like with Dee and Austin.
Right,
Who's the
right.
other guy and the girl
Oh my God,
from?
Franny and Matt, I
Yeah,
love them. Okay, that was an
Brandy and Matt.
yes, I love them. I agree, like, look, I went on single and was like I was more of the impression like, "Oh, I will gladly flirt with people to get my way." And then I got to the beach, I was like, "Everyone is in relationships. Okay, pivot tactics," you know?
Right. Can't
Um,
do it with them. You got to find a different way.
yeah, also there is a little bit of like, you have a one track mind. Like I was, yeah, just constantly thinking about how do I win? But maybe if there had been like a really hot single man there, I would have been down. Who knows?
Yeah,
So
it's hard to tell. And you know what? I could be completely wrong too, because like you
you
don't
don't
know
know.
until you're there.
You don't know until you're there. You don't know
And
until
it's
you're there.
that's another thing. Just going back to like, it's just, the people who, making comments on things that
Yeah,
they don't have any information on. It's just like,
totally.
you weren't there. Like
You weren't there.
you have an opinion. That's cool. Everybody has an
Exactly.
opinion, but
Yeah.
don't speak fact to it. You know.
Right, right. And yeah, that was the other like I mean, I'm sure you saw because I this was the corner of Reddit that I was told about multiple times where there was a rumor that I was one of the cheaters.
Yeah.
And that was infuriating to me because it actually came out of like I have no idea where that came from and it just couldn't have been further from the truth. So like I was so relieved when like Sage defended me. MC at one point comes out and defends me. It was actually like a joke amongst 49. They're like, it's so funny that Sophie is catching this heat because
Mhm.
almost to a fault was I not talking or engaging with anybody. And if you like read pregame interviews, people are kind of talking trash about me because they're like, she's not giving me anything, aka she's not talking, she's not like, she's locked in.
Mhm.
But that was an example where I so wanted to like respond to these people on the internet about this and be like, how, like, you don't know anything. And I was like, oh, they don't know anything. Like,
Mhm.
me arguing with them is not gonna change their opinion because they pulled this like straight out of their ass, you
Right.
know? I can't fight with that.
Yeah. I will say also, when I first started watching Survivor, I think apart from it sparking an absolute passion and
Yeah.
desire for the game for me and wanting to go out there,
Yeah.
it's also given me just so much more motivation to do other things. Same
Mhm.
thing with becoming a dad. Like when I became a
Yeah.
dad, I was like, I've always had high motivation and,
Yeah, totally.
I'm done well for myself. I have my master's in
Mhm.
business and we have a nice house. And
Yeah.
but becoming a dad was like, and I told Saul about this when I was
Mm.
talking to him, because I don't know if you know, but
Yeah,
he
he's
just recently
recently
became a
had a
dad.
baby.
I just tried explaining it to him, and I've tried explaining this
Yeah.
to other people, and I just can't, because when you become a dad, there's just this feeling that you get inside
Yeah.
of, and you can't explain it,
Yeah.
and it's a world changing
Mm. Mhm.
feeling, and not just your world, but like your beliefs,
Yeah.
your everything. Like it's
Mm.
crazy. I
Mhm.
can't describe it,
Yeah.
but I attribute that also to, just making me just want to go out and do things. I'm like,
Yeah.
this game has done so much for me. I want to help other people feel that,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so here's, if that, for you guys
Yeah.
listening who, you want to get out there and do something, but you just keep putting it off, or you're not
Mhm.
ready, like just do it.
Just do it.
You never know what could happen. Like
You never know.
I'm here talking to you and
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
never thought would happen. When I first started doing this, I was like, all right, I'm gonna reach out to, some people
Yeah.
on Instagram. That was my
Mhm.
only method
Right.
of contact. And I got Gabe, and then it kind of just
Yeah.
like,
Went from there.
it went from there. But
One of the things that like my friends say that I am famous for is follow through because I feel like, yeah, a lot of people talk about doing things and it's like the people that follow through that get shit done. And I like Survivor is the biggest example of that, I think, in my life where haha, applied, but then I didn't get it. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna apply again. Like just if you want
I'll show
something,
you.
yeah, go for it. And I think it's a little bit of courage. And it's also a little bit of you need to have a little bit of like not caring what other people think because it is hard to put yourself out there. And when you do, you are opening yourself up for, yeah, people to say bad things about you on the internet, people to judge your decisions or what you choose to do. And so anytime that you are going for something or just doing it, you're kind of saying I'm putting my own like goals and dreams above what everybody else thinks. And I think that's a really tough thing to do, but I think it's one of the most like rewarding and fulfilling.
I agree 100% with all that. And a big thing I struggle with, at least I'm getting better with it, but like at the beginning of this whole content creation thing and just trying to do things, is imposter syndrome. I'm like, who am I to be out here posting videos on YouTube? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I even felt it like on Survivor, not being out there, but when it was airing, especially because I was not getting a lot of airtime early on, I had a moment of like, did I even play the game? Was I even like a part of this season? And I
could
think
take it a little personally. Like I would.
Absolutely.
Like what?
Like,
Was
why
I not
did you
good
like
enough
me?
for? Yeah.
Was I not entertaining? Was I not fun? Was I not funny? And while in the end, for me, I was lucky in that I did kind of have my, you know, 3 episodes of fame or whatever you want to call it. And I am like really happy with how that shook out. I did have to really push myself, like, if this is all it is, like if I am truly purpled and I don't get screen time and I don't feel like Survivor represents me, like what does that say about me? Does that say that I'm not interesting? Does that say? And it was a really hard concept to confront. And I had to like come to the thought that like, no, what happens in airing does not actually change who I am as a person or whether or not I deserve to be there. And like similarly for you or anyone who does content creation, like whether or not this blows up does not mean there's not value here or I'm not good at this. There's just like an aspect of like luck and something else, in internet and TV and virality that like you have no control over. And so I think the hardest lesson is, not letting that imposter syndrome take hold. And then if, something like for me, if I never got the screen time, knowing that doesn't have any say on like who I am as a person or whether or not like I impacted Survivor the game. That was just Survivor the show.
I really like that. Especially like when you spoke on, content creation, like, and this is not just for Survivor stuff. Like if you're, I don't care what kind of YouTuber you are or any other social media platform, whatever content you're putting out there, if you don't have a huge audience or a huge following and you're not super popular, that doesn't equivalent to value. Like there's it all depends on your mindset for one, and like what you take. You can learn from everything, and that's something I'm continuing to learn as I do things like this. Is I treat every experience as a learning experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I think when you give the power to the masses, to the public, you lose it. Like then you are taking power away from yourself and giving it to these nameless people on the internet, if that's what you are using to judge your value on. And it's really hard to not get swept up in it when either it's super negative or super positive. Like I kind of talked about it at the beginning of the podcast, but there was a time where I was getting a lot of like positive comments and I had to be like, hold on a second. I don't want to be ego tripping off this because, in a couple months, I'm not going to be on Survivor. And then what? Am I going to be sad and not thinking that I'm like a fun, cool person of value? Like, no, that's not true. And so I think it's like a really like when you are, creating any type of content, you have to be like really careful about protecting your peace and I think it's really protecting your self-esteem and your self-worth and making sure that's just coming from either you or like people that you really trust and not letting just a random comment on the internet affect that or how many views you're getting or how many likes you're getting. Like, don't let that be the barometer of success or value because I think that is a fool's errand trying to chase that.
That's deep. That's good.
Yeah, but obviously we want this podcast to blow up and have like 1,000 million followers and all of that stuff. But like, it's just you, Aaron, will be the same throughout the whole thing. And still, like the goal is that you still view yourself as like awesome throughout the whole thing, and don't let like people's opinions of you change that.
Yeah, if I can influence or have an impact on at least one person's outlook, not even Survivor related. Like if you just come out of this podcast and you just got like just any piece of valuable information, do me a favor, just hit the like button.
Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Listen, you're a YouTube. No, I know you don't work on the
creator
content creation side. I'm like, listen, How's the YouTube algorithm
Yeah.
work? What can I do?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew. That I don't know. But I agree with you. I feel like just like putting out there what you what you think might help someone, it'll resonate with someone, you
Yeah.
know?
And thank you again for hopping on. I
Yeah, thank
literally
you for
had a
having
blast.
me.
And if you're down to, do another episode in the
Yeah,
future, I'd love it.
absolutely. This was so fun, Erin. Thank you for having me. Such a lovely way to spend a snowy Sunday.
Perfect. Just need some hot chocolate.
Yeah.